Hi, I'm Daniel Foley from the Abundant Life Training Center, and welcome to this week's yearly cycle updates. We are on October 23rd, 2020. So as we're ending October, we're heading into November. This is a time of year where we often see breakthroughs. We often see God setting us free in some ways, hopefully, that are better than we've ever imagined before. Hopefully, every year around this time of the year, we're seeing breakthroughs. We're seeing God set us free to another level. Something to keep in mind. There's always another level. No matter how far advanced we are, there is always another level. So it's at this time of the year that we often will see a breakthrough. And I was going on a walk with my daughter who's 10 earlier today, actually. And we were talking about this concept of how God often opens doors during this time of the year to the next level. But I said, sometimes these doors, people don't want to go through them because they look scary. And so she said, what do you mean by they look scary? And I said, well, she's into baking. So imagine if Kids Baking Championship from the Food Network called and said, hey, we want you on the show. It's starting in January. We want you on the show this year. Well, there would obviously be a lot of excitement, but then there would probably also be some fear. It would look scary because it would require her to take her skills up to the next level. She might have questions of, am I capable of this? Am I good enough? Can I compete at this level? All of these types of things. So when God begins to open doors to the next level, it makes us question sometimes. It makes us wonder, am I capable? Am I able to go to this next level? But when God opens those doors, he wants us to go through with the faith in him and trusting in him that he can make it happen through us. The problem is we often look at what we can do in our own strength rather than trusting what God can do through us. Think about the story in the Bible of the people going, the Israelite people coming out of Egypt, going into the wilderness. While they're in the wilderness, they send spies into the promised land. God opens the door, shows them a glimpse of where he's taken them. And most of the people come back at the report and says, hey, it really is the promised land. Hey, this Kids Baking Championship is awesome, but it looks hard. It looks impossible. We don't think that we can do it. We'd be better off just going back to what we used to do in Egypt. We'd be better off to go back and be slaves in Egypt. Unfortunately, this is what a lot of people do. They either settle at the current level because they're fearful of making that commitment, making that choice to go to the next level, or they want to go backwards, and God wants us to keep moving forward continually every year. And so it's often during this time of the year where he begins to open these doors to the next level. But he gives us the free will. We can choose to go through. We can choose to step into a higher level of our calling. We can choose to go through those doors. What's it going to take to go through those doors? Like I said, it's going to almost always require faith. It's probably going to look scary. It's going to require faith. It's going to require courage. On the other side of the door, there will almost always be a higher level of work, a higher level of commitment to your gift. You know, the example I gave my daughter as well when I was playing baseball. From high school to college, it's moving up a level. And you get to question yourself because you're going up to a higher level of competition. It requires a higher level of commitment, time commitment, a higher level of commitment in everything that you're doing, of training, of practicing, all these types of things. And then you have the questions, am I good enough? Can I do this? Can I perform at this level? These types of things. So these questions are going to come. So hopefully you're going to see God setting you free in some ways over these next few weeks here. But as he releases you and he sets you free, he's setting you free to set you up to go through that next door. And it's a question of, are you going to have the faith and the courage to step through those doors and do the work that's on the other side of them? That's going to be the bigger question. Are you going to go through those doors? Now remember too, when these doors open, to follow your peace. There's an example of the Apostle Paul in the Bible. I believe it's in Corinthians. He says that God opened a door for him. But Paul didn't go through because he didn't have peace about it, because he didn't have one of his partners there with him to go through the door with him. Some doors we are not made to go through alone. Some doors we're made to go through with our partners, with other people there to help us and to support us. And if they're not there, or they're not ready yet, or whatever it may be, they're not willing to go through the doors, we might not have peace about it. And then God will often open another door. Right after that, it says that God opened another door for Paul. So keep in mind, follow the peace. As you make these decisions, as God opens doors, things look scary, it takes faith. Follow the peace on the inside to help you to guide your decision-making during this time. But God does, he gives us free will. He lets us choose which way we want to go, whether we want to stay right where we are or we want to keep growing, we want to keep moving forward in life. Now, for those of you in the Abundant Life Blueprint, we're going to get into the training from the Pockets of Prosperity course. We're going to be getting into finances again this week. We're going to be going over the fruit of finances, how God is encircling our finances from every angle. He's promised to take care of us. Then we're going to be talking about the standard when it comes to finances, which is seeking after the kingdom and being good stewards of the resources that God has given us. Really, there's a lot of arguments about money and prosperity and these types of things in the Christian world. And really, I think what it comes down to is this. What are we seeking after? What are we seeking after? What's our true source? Is our trust and our security and the thing that we seek after money or a job or financial security? Or is our trust and security and hope in God and his unfailing love for us on this side? The question is, what are we seeking? Because God says if we seek first the kingdom, all these things get added to us. But if we seek first the things, then we miss out on God, and it's harder to get the things as well. If we will seek first the kingdom, it's really a matter of, I believe, what are we seeking after? What are we seeking after is one of the most important questions. What is our true source of financial success? Because think about this, it takes an enormous amount of trust in God. We talked about one of our financial keys last week to unlocking finances. One of the biggest ones, the emotional key, is trust. It takes an enormous amount of trust to seek after God, especially when your money's tight, trusting that he's going to take care of you. That takes a lot of trust. And then we're going to talk about our table turner in the area of finances. For those of you that are not familiar with the term table turner, it's the one thing that turns the tables and puts you in control. It's the one thing that really matters. And the table turner in the area of finances, I believe, is partnership. We have the opportunity to partner with God. Partnering with our spouse and getting into agreement with our spouse if we're married is one of the most important keys for finances. And then partnering with other people around a common vision. Because God will often give us good ideas, creative ideas. But usually, like we said last week, it takes a good idea and a relationship. It takes key people, partners, relationships to make things happen. Because finances are relational. We can't buy, sell, give, or receive on our own. It takes help from other people to make all these things happen. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to get into this training from the Abundant Life Blueprint. One more thing to add, just an announcement. We've got the Miracle Year class coming up. The Miracle Year class, we're going to be starting, it's going to be Tuesday nights on Zoom online. It'll be a 9-week class. The goal is that we finish the class right at the end of this year, 2020, with your plan, your Miracle Year plan ready to go for 2021. That you've got your plan ready to go for 2021. And this could be a plan for you individually, or this could be a plan for your organization. If you're a leader of an organization, a business, a ministry, an organization of some sort, this could be your plan for your organization as well. What is a Miracle Year plan? It's where we take about 40 days to work on getting very clear, getting connected to God, getting very clear on what is the one thing that we feel like God wants us to work on over the next year. And then we build our plan around that, and we make that our top priority. And as we do that, we talk about as God's blueprint for breakthrough. As we focus, as we seek him and focus on the things that he wants us to focus on, it leads to breakthroughs as we go through the year. So for those of you that want to sign up for the Miracle Year class, you can go to www.abundantlifetrainingcenter/Miracle Year class, I believe is the link. And you'll find it also on the homepage there as well. So for those of you in the Abundant Life Blueprint, we're going to jump into this training on finances from the Pockets of Prosperity.